Hi, Nigel. Let me try to unmute yourself first. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
So, it is now 11 o'clock. So we are going to start our interview,
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you questions.
a feature presentation. So
Okay.
before I do anything, I just want to say hi to everybody who are viewing us. We are currently live on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as our juga.com/live website. So for those of you who are joining us, you can use the chat box inside the juga.com live. Use the chat on the right-hand side. Just pop in, say hi. So far, we have a couple of people who already said hi already. But whatever you put down will be public. So if you have something that's private, then use the little widget on the corner. Use the little chat widget on the corner, and just basically pop in a question if you want. So I'm going to respond to both the live chat as well as the Facebook, the widget, the chat widget. So today I'm very happy. It's my pleasure to have Naijing He,
Hi, Mr.
CPA,
Humphrey.
a chartered professional accountant with over 20 years of experience in both public practice and industry. So Naijing's practice focus is on Canadian corporate accounting and taxes. So during this pandemic, many Canadians have found themselves without a job. And this is actually one of the reasons why we started this conversation. All right, so a lot of people are without jobs. A lot of people have.
Oh, how come? Humphrey is out? Okay, can anyone see me? I suppose Humphrey is having some technical difficulties. Ah, okay, but I cannot see the question box. Let me see. How come I'm the only one? Well, high tech, nowadays you cannot live without high tech, but sometimes it really drives you crazy. Where is Humphrey? Okay, I will simply call him because I think. Okay. Oh, okay, because I can. Okay, okay. All right. I just called Humphrey. He's gonna come back. Apparently, there's something about his internet. So too bad I don't get to see all the participants, but and I cannot. I don't have the. I don't get to see the questions, but I will just say hi and maybe introduce myself to fill the gap. Um, all right. As Humphrey mentioned that I've been in accounting and tax. I've been working in this field for more than 20 years. I used to work for PricewaterhouseCoopers. I got my designation while I worked there. And then I worked for a smaller accounting firm until when I felt that it was time for me to start my own practice. Um, I started my own practice in 2016. Um, when I remember when I first started, it was dead. Nobody knew me. So I had to start to build my clientele from ground zero. Now it's been almost 4 years. Every month, on average, I get a couple of new corporate clients while serving all the clients. So for me, I'm quite happy with the progress. I'm quite happy with my decision to start my own practice. But this COVID-19 did slow down the growth of my business and negatively affected many of my small business clients. But I do see the growth in going forward as talented people realize that when you work as an employee, when if anything goes wrong, like this pandemic, employees are the first thing gets cut. So you would be better off to have your own business or your own project, either on a full-time basis or a part-time basis. So your financial and psychological well-being does not rely on someone else, like your employer. And that's also the reason why Humphrey and I are doing this free seminar today. We do want to share our knowledge, and we want to help. So yeah, if you have any questions, because I don't get to see your question, I only see the chat between me and Humphrey. But if you have any questions, please don't be shy. Please ask. Just type your questions there, and once Humphrey comes back, and he will read those questions, so I can answer. Now, okay. So probably, okay, since I don't get to see the questions, I probably will talk about some like a common, maybe try to answer some common questions, like incorporation. If say you are wondering whether you should incorporate, right? The typical question would be the pros and cons. So why don't I just start with this common question? So we wait for Humphrey. Just a second. Let me what's the okay. I just received a text message from Flora. Thank you very much. Thank you, because I really don't get to see you guys, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, so all right. So typical pros and cons of incorporation. Oh, okay. First of all, let me explain what do I mean by incorporation. So to incorporate is to create an artificial. Humphrey, welcome back.
Hey.
Okay. Hey. Okay.
I am back.
I've done my welcome back. I've done my self introduction about how I started my business. Can you hear me? Hi. Hi. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. So just so you know, I've done my introduction. I talk about how I started my business, and so while you are setting things up, I will talk about. I will cover some basic, like common questions, like what does incorporation mean, and the typical pros and cons while you set things up. How's that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry that Cody. It happens when we have too many live stream going on. So it's actually quite fun. So we do have a question from Flora. Do you want to answer a question from Flora? Yeah. So Flora was asking. So Flora was asking, what does the tax return process look like for someone for half and transitioning it?
Okay. Self-employed, but still not a problem. But it's still still self unincorporated business, right? So everything is reported on the personal tax return, not a problem. So I suppose it happens a lot, right? Because some people have employees like a full-time job, but also runs like a moonlight part-time business. So if you haven't incorporated your business, you are supposed to report everything, both employment income and self-employment income, on your personal tax return. So for your employment income, right, you just receive a T4 slip and then do the data entry. But for your self-employment income, you want to prepare a form in your tax return. It's called T2125, T2125 to report your business income and business expenses, right? I would say it's quite a straightforward form. So the first page, that's where you enter your business information. If you have a business name or business number with the CRA already registered, right? If you're a GST registrant, then you put those information there, and then you enter your business income. Afterwards you can claim your business expenses, the typical expenses like advertising, meal and entertainment, and make sure you do not forget to claim, because nowadays many people work from home, so don't forget to claim your home office expense. You are allowed to claim a portion of your home expenses like rent, mortgage interest, utilities, right? You are allowed based on the percentage, like how much in terms of square footage or number of rooms, you can prorate and calculate and claim your business portion of the home office expense. And also, if you drive your personal vehicles for business purpose, don't forget to claim your vehicle expense as well. So, and at the end of that form, you will see the profit. And because if you didn't incorporate your business, then whatever the profit amount is, it's 100% taxed in your own hands. It's not like a corporate. If you incorporate your business, then whatever the profit is taxed at. Since we are in BC, for 2020, federal and provincial combined corporate income tax rate is only 11%, right, for small business. A Canadian control, to be specific, Canadian controlled private company running active business, the corporate income tax rate is only 11%. But if you are unincorporated, then the profit will be taxed at a personal income tax rate rates, which range from 20.06% to I think it's 53.5% for 2020. Yeah, I hope that answered Flora's question.
Yeah, I think so. So for the people who are watching, if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat box or the little chat widget as well. I'll respond to them. So I know you talked about how you got started, Nanjing. Would you say what are some of the challenges that you've had like along the way, if you don't mind like sharing?
Challenges. Okay. Of course, first is marketing, right? That's why now I'm working with Humphrey, a marketing specialist. So for any business, if you don't, no matter how good you are or you're good at what you do, you have the skill set that you can offer. But if you don't have business, basically, there's no business. So you want to really look into your strengths and see what you do well and what you can put on the table to offer, and you want to connect with other professionals. It's hard sometimes to do everything by yourself. You need to connect with other professionals and we help each other to grow our business together.
It's true, and I often find that you really have to follow what you're passionate about. Right? So if you're passionate about something, then it's a longer term project. It's not the fact that you're trying to get rich within like 1 week, one night, that kind of thing.
It takes time. It takes time. Like I would say like many small business start as a sole proprietorship. Nothing wrong with that because it's easier, right, to do that way. And normally it takes 1 to 2 years for the business owner to figure out whether this business will last. So you're better off to start as a sole proprietorship. And if the business goes well, then you'll pay taxes at personal income tax rates until you incorporate. If the business does not go well, you may simply end it without going through the hassle, the legal procedures to dissolve an incorporated business, right? And also it costs money to incorporate and it costs money to stay incorporated. um, as I always say, you can do your personal tax return by yourself, but I would not recommend DIY your corporate income tax returns unless you receive the proper training. Personal tax returns focus more on income and expenses, while corporate income tax returns require more information other than profit and loss, and it involves more aspects which could lead to audit red flags. So you do not know what you don't know. Like, let me put it this way: I do have accountant clients who, of course, decided to pursue other, professions, so they no longer do tax returns for others, for a living. But I do have accountant clients for whom I prepare corporate tax returns. So that tells you something. So if you decide to incorporate, please be prepared. You need to pay for professionals, like for the services that you're not really good at, like marketing service, tax service, legal service, and so on, right? But on the other hand, every day there are hundreds of new companies incorporated in Canada, right? Why people do that? I mean, despite the hassles and the costs, I would say there are two main reasons. The first reason is legal limited liability, right? When it's a sole proprietorship, the business owner assumes all the liability. So your personal assets like your car can be seized to pay debts of your business. But if your business is incorporated, the individual shareholders' liability is limited to the amount you invested in your company, unless you give a personal guarantee, then that's another story. So if for people in trades or in professions which tend to have expensive liability claims, you want to incorporate to protect your personal assets. The other main reason why people incorporate would be tax advantages. As I mentioned before, in BC, the federal and the provincial combined personal income tax rates range from 20.06% to 53.5%, right? Well, the corporate income tax rate for CCPC, Canadian Controlled Private Companies, running active business, earning profit below $500,000 is taxed at a flat rate, which is 11%. And besides, if you incorporate, you get to decide when and how to take money out of your company, right? So you are allowed to take personal income only when your personal income level is low, so you don't have to pay too much personal taxes. And you also get to determine the nature of the payment. Like, it could be a repayment of shareholder loan, could be payroll, could be dividend. Each has different tax implications. So yeah, those were I would say are the two main reasons why people still incorporate. Oh, let me add one more thing. For this pandemic, our Canadian government offers the Canadian Emergency Business Account, which is basically a $40,000 interest-free government guaranteed loan, as long as you can provide a 2019 T4 summary, which shows the total of gross payroll between 20,000 to 1 million, then you qualified. But if you are a sole proprietor and you do not have any employees, then you don't issue T4 slips, then unfortunately you are not qualified. But if you are incorporated and even if it's still a one-man show, it's just you, but during 2019 somehow you paid yourself payroll for at least $20,000, and guess what? You qualified for that loan, so you get to use that $40,000 interest free for almost 2 years to the end of 2022, and if you can repay 30,000 by the end of 2022, then the rest $10,000 is forgiven. So yeah, that's, I would say, another benefit. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's like a free 10.
Humphrey,
Yeah,
I cannot hear
it
you
might
clearly.
sound very bad.
Okay.
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 So I'm just kind of curious too to see our audience. Like, do they currently have a business, or are they currently looking to start a business? I'm kind of curious about what they are as well, because during our preparation,
Okay.
we talk about, let's say, the different type of
Hello. Uh-huh. I cannot hear you.
microphone, because I changed the computer,
Okay.
messes up afterwards.
Okay. That's okay.
Okay. People are using different ideas of having what a business is. Some people are thinking about business a lot easier to access, right? So be like how they want to do something that's personal service, right? So maybe become a hairdresser. Maybe they want to do something a little bit more capital intensive, so something that needs a little bit more money. So what a business is, right? Or so, do you have any idea or any advice, say, for some different type of business, when should they be incorporating?
Okay. Um, okay. I didn't really hear your questions clearly, but I suppose that kind of includes two parts. First is what business should you, like, you, if you wonder, right? What should you do if you're, say, currently unemployed, right? If you want to start your own business, what business should you do, and how to, like, when to what's the best timing or for you to incorporate, right? So okay, I suppose I really cannot hear you clearly, but it's okay.
So
I would,
it's better now. Do you hear a little bit better now? Oh no. Okay.
I can hear you now, but
Mm.
like your image, maybe okay. What if you stop video, so you take, so your stream takes less data, maybe. Let's see. Then at least I can hear your
I
question.
can figure out. I
Okay.
can figure out why now. Okay.
Okay. All right. So okay, what's your question? Okay, business. So I would say in terms of what do you do, I mean, there are so many choices, right? It really, as Humphrey mentioned, it's, you need to see what you are passionate about. If you don't want to do something that you hate, and but on the other hand, it cannot be a hobby because it's business. You want to see, like, what you're good at, whether you have something that others do not have that you can offer, no matter it's product or service. In terms of um, incorporation, I would say, like, because that's okay. Another common question people tend to ask is, okay, is there a particular dollar amount, right, for me to see if I start to test the water, I run my business as a sole proprietor. Now, when is the best timing for me to incorporate? How can I tell? Um, if you ask different accountant might give you different answers. But my answer would be, there isn't any magic number that you can use as a threshold to tell you when you should incorporate. I would say it more depends on your lifestyle. If you find that you have to spend every dollar you make from your business to support your lifestyle, then there's not much a point for you to incorporate, because even if say you were incorporated, you would still need to take every dollar out, right, the profit out of your company in order to support your invest of payroll or dividend, right, in order to support your lifestyle. Then you have to pay personal taxes anyways. But if your lifestyle is modest, and when you run your unincorporated business, you realize that every year after you pay personal income taxes, you still end up buying, say, GICs every year, then that would be a sign for you to incorporate. Then that means you would be better off to have that the profit, the business profit, to be taxed at corporate income tax rate 11% than personal income tax rate.
I see. Well, and that's also along with the risk that you may have during the business as well, right? That you mentioned before. And I think if you are looking to buy a franchise as a way to start business, I think you start a.
Yes, that will be like a higher cost.
Usually okay, so let's where we can come back in and about our. So if you guys can just shout out and tell me, hey, what type of business you're running, or you incorporate, or if you have any on tap for Nanjing, we can more than happy to answer them as well. So while we're waiting for Nanjing to come back.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi, Humphrey. Can you hear me? Hi. Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so I lost. Okay.
I think what happens when there are a lot of internet traffic, and that's why we're trying to see.
So maybe next time we should do it in the evening. I cannot hear you. My God. Okay. I cannot hear you. Oh no, I can hear you, but it's like,
okay.
Yes, it's like flaky.
Okay.
So is it possible? Let's do this, Humphrey. Is it possible for you to type the questions, because I cannot hear the questions, and I cannot see the participants' question, the chat box. So I don't know what's going on. Okay.
So we have a question from Jennifer.
Okay.
Like a little.
Okay. Now you can copy paste to my chat so I can see the question.
Question earlier from Jennifer.
Okay.
And she was asking that she's been in business for the past 5 years, and she has her children there to help.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. So she was saying that she only paid them casually here and there, but not not a regular salary.
Okay.
And then and her question is very specific. She was asking that if she had paid them formally up to a minimum wage, then they would have been qualified for the CERB as long as they are more than $5,000 for the past 12 months, right? But they're younger. They're age 15 and 17, and they help a lot in the computer work, assembly,
Okay.
that kind of thing. So, but what should Jennifer do now to qualify them for the CERB?
Okay.
As currently the business is complete stop.
Okay. Okay. So it's about CERB. All right. For those who are not familiar with this abbreviation, that is Canadian Emergency Response Benefit, $2,000 per 4 weeks. So that's $500 per week. To qualify for this, you must be at least 15 years old, and you had either employment or self-employment income of at least $5,000, either in 2019 or in a 12-month period before you apply for this CERB. So in Jennifer's case, as long as if those her children were employed officially, right? And then I expect there should be like a T4 slip, 2019 T4 slips issued to her children. Then as long as it's more than $5,000, then they qualify. Even if just say, oh, for the younger one, the total is just say $4,000. That's not the end of the world, because if the company paid the employee, right? Before from January 1st to the day when this person applies, and just say that's another 1,500, then the total of this during this 12-month period, as long as the total of the employment or self-employment income is more than $5,000, then you qualify. You can apply for it.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Jennifer. But if you have any more follow-up you would like to ask, I'm more than happy to answer that as well. So follow-up question. I have another question from the chat. This one is coming from chat, and the question are necessary when they're working with you or any accountants, and how does the confidentiality work?
Oh, okay. I use my practice as an example. Each time for each engagement, no matter personal income tax return or corporate year-end work, we do sign an engagement letter, right, between the accountant and the client. And yes, we do mention that all the information will be treated as confidential information, and also in our case we are CPAs, so we won't so you don't have to worry too much when you work with properly licensed CPA practitioners. But I cannot speak for those other accountants, right, who are not really governed by any independent professional body. Then I cannot speak for them. But yes, when you work with a professional, like properly licensed CPAs, we do follow our rules and code of conduct, and we do have engagement letters in place. So that's a good question, but yeah, you don't have to worry too much about it. But
so definitely work with somebody who is.
Yeah, we don't really sign a specific agreement called a non-disclosure. We don't do that, but it's kind of covered in our engagement letter.
I see. So I hope that answers your question in the chat as well. So here, let's talk about the business part, because obviously it's very important, but in the overall business side of things as well. So, for example, to advise a business owner to watch out for one thing, what would that be?
Oh, that would be cash flow.
Oh,
Yeah, I was cash
that's an easy one.
is like, yeah, cash is like the blood in your body, right? Cash flow keeps a business alive. And there are many ways to improve your cash flow when you have a business, like being proactive to collect payments from your clients, like charging a retainer or a deposit before you deliver products or services, right? That improves your cash flow, and budgeting. Taxes are actually an important part of budgeting. I know some of my small business clients, they literally set up a business savings account, which is linked to their business checking account. And every month they transfer an estimated amount for GST, PST, income taxes. So they won't panic when it comes to tax time, right? If you go, oh my God, I just bought this big batch of inventory, but I totally forgot, like my taxes are due. So that helps. Good question.
Okay. And is that something that you automatically set it up with a bank, or do you help them set it up if you're
Yeah,
working as their accountant? Or?
it's up to you. Like, it's really based. It depends on how organized you are, right? If I have been working with a lot of very organized business owners, so that skill definitely helps. But if you don't think you are the super well organized type, maybe you want to do something like that, right? You still said you put the money aside if you think this you're gonna have the GST tax owing, or this year it's gonna be a profitable year and you need to pay taxes. Then you just do your estimate, right? And then you put some money aside so you feel prepared.
That's true. No, I really like how you put the analogy of cash is you really like your blood flow, right? Really like your blood flow. So yeah, without it, then you can't do anything. It's not even about how much revenue on paper. You haven't received the revenue of cash that goes into your bank account. Totally agree.
Right. Because
Totally agree.
because you have all the expenses, right? And then tax liabilities. That's
Yeah, for sure. So feel free to ask me and Najing. I just gonna keep chatting.
okay. I'll try. Like, whenever I touch my earphone, that's
Start a business.
whenever I touch my earphone, that means I cannot hear you.
That you can hear me. Of an issue as well. So let's figure. Like my regular computer just couldn't log in, so I had to use my second computer quickly. But Najing, if you have to, what would it be?
Okay, so not as an accountant, not as an accountant. This is not a tax question. Okay, I probably will be a carpenter. I want, yeah. Okay.
Did you say carpenter?
I probably will be a carpenter. Yeah.
A carpenter.
I'm a very handy person. Yeah, I'm a very handy person. I made my own coffee table, not from scratch, but yeah. I enjoy creating stuff. It's fun. Yeah, but
yeah.
It's more like a hobby.
That's
I know
amazing.
I won't be able to make money by working as a carpenter, so that's why I didn't really start my own business as a carpenter.
A carpenter. You know, at first I would have thought that you would like to be a private investigator. like
Oh
people hire
yeah.
you, to look at stuff. I don't know, because you've been like, you
Guess
told
what?
me about it,
I'm,
that
I
like that you.
I still I don't have to be a professional detective. Like day to day, like even now, I still work as a detective. I'm not kidding. I will share with you a true story. I won't mention my client's name, but I recently take on this new client, and so his previous accountant is not a CPA, and so at the end of the year end work, basically the accountant collects the payment, and then just told him, okay, I already filed your tax return, that's it, your corporate tax return, that's it. And then my client, of course, was inexperienced, so he just thought, okay, done. And now because he moved from Ontario to BC, so he found me, and so I said, okay, sure, I can take on you as my new client, but give me a copy of your 2018, right? Financial statements, trial balance, tax return. Those are basic. He's like, huh? So, and then I contacted I sent over a takeover letter to the predecessor accountant, which is required by the CPA Canada. I didn't hear anything, so I did a search. Turned out that's not a designated accountant, so he doesn't really have to follow any rules of conduct, right? Set for the CPAs. So I'm like, so I said, okay, just give me whatever you can provide. So he logged into his company's my business account. He was able to print out like kind of a summary. It's not really a detailed, but summary of his 2018 corporate like initial assessment, and based on that, I had like a lengthy a Zoom meeting with him. I went through the numbers one by one, and I was able to create a 2018 trial balance based on what the CRA received from his previous accountant, because whatever you reported to the CRA, right, for 2018, we have to use those balances as the starting point, as the opening balances, right, for 2019. So I was able to create a 2018 trial balance based on that, and then we did record our 2019. It's still a balance. And yesterday I had a meeting with him. He's very happy with the progress that we were able to, find this and that and try to put the pieces together. So in a way, it's fun. Like working as an accountant is not that boring. Like I do enjoy working with numbers. So it's fun.
Commercials, a lot of commercials. They say what accountants are.
Like, what's your question?
No. Question is just a comment.
Oh.
It's just a comment. Yeah. So okay, that's good. That's good. So it's very, very exciting stuff.
Yeah. So yeah. The now if you don't have any question, I probably will because of this pandemic. Hopefully audience can hear me clearly. Because of this pandemic, our government has extended the deadline for a lot of tax returns and tax payments, right? Due dates. So I will just give you so some of them could be quite confusing. I will try my best to give you an update about the new tax filing and tax payment due dates. Now, first, payroll remittances, there's no deferral. Employers still need to remit payroll remittances on time. But other than payroll remittance, for those tax returns and tax payments that become due during this pandemic period, the government does extended the deadlines. For corporate income tax, the tax returns are due now June 1st. Tax payments, corporate income tax payments and installments are due September 1st. For regular personal income tax returns, returns are due June 1st. But if you or your spouse is self-employed, then your personal tax returns are due June 15th, basically no change, right? The same deadline, even before the pandemic. But the personal income taxes are due September 1st, no matter whether you are self-employed. When it comes to GST, you still have to file your GST returns on time, right? If you are required to file GST returns monthly or quarterly or annually, you still need to file your GST returns on time. But the GST payments are due June 30th. And when it comes to PST filing and payments are due September 30th. All right. I know it's confusing that they don't have the same date, but you really have to, watch out. However, if you know, when it comes to personal income tax return, if you know you may expect a tax refund, then you don't have to wait till June 1st to file your personal tax returns, right? You want to file your tax returns ASAP so you can get your refund sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Henry left the conference room again. This has been a very exciting webinar. Okay, so I don't really know like what questions like people normally have. So okay, there's another question I have because I get that question a lot actually. So I just assume everyone still can see and hear me, so I will just continue. So the another common question I get, welcome back, Humphrey. You are making this webinar really interesting. So okay, so I just told the audience that I'm gonna talk about another common question that I get a lot from small business owners who wonder whether they should incorporate and how to incorporate. That question would be whether you need to hire a lawyer, right? How do you incorporate? Do you need to hire a lawyer? I would say you can hire a lawyer to incorporate for you, or you can do it by yourself if you are very knowledgeable and experienced about how to incorporate and the implications of different share structures. Like in my case, I incorporated my business by myself, and it only took me several minutes online to do it. Of course, it's because I'm a CPA. But normally, I do not recommend people do it yourself. The DIY. Also because Law Society considers incorporation and a legal service. So CPA Canada has been warning CPA practitioners not to do incorporation for clients. There might be accountants who might agree to do incorporation for you, but please be aware those might not be properly licensed CPA practitioners, because proper CPA practitioners won't do things that are clearly disallowed by CPA Canada, right? We can answer your questions about incorporation. We can discuss with you the tax benefits of different share structures with either you or your incorporation lawyer, but we are not allowed to do incorporation for you, just in case you wonder.
All right, so I do have a question from Helena. She's asking that if you help clients plan for retirement in order to balance their pensions, and also if they have any ongoing work, but then the work being scaled back. So I guess her question was that she has pensions coming in, but she's also doing some work. But like it's somehow like if you can help them balance it so that they can get the best advantage.
Okay. So in terms of pension, I will talk about two things: CPP and OAS, because I don't really know the age. You can, like, if you're a teacher, you can retire quite young, right? You don't have to qualify for that OAS pension. But because I don't really know her specific situation, so I would just quickly touch like the common type of pension income. That would be a CPP, OAS. Be aware there is a OAS clawback, which means if you have, and every year CRA updates this amount. I think for 2019 it's 70 something thousand, but not $80,000 yet. So you want to.
Oh, now it's actually Naijing's having some issues with her audio as well. So this is just a challenging time having internet, having webinars as well. But yeah, I think she was telling that yes, there were some callbacks, and then Naijing is more familiar with OAS and also CPP as well. But let's see when she comes back, and if she can actually finish the question. But I'll let you put up some slides as well, that if you have any information or if you have any contact, you want to contact Naijing directly, here's her Naijing. So I wasn't sure if you were going to come back. So
I don't know, I got to kick it out. Like, why?
Yeah, it could be the internet that's really, really slow as well sometimes. So I'm just going to flash your information if it's anything that has people who has more of a private information that they want to share with you, or if they're looking for more consultation from you, you can definitely contact Naijing He. Her phone number is 604-816-8060. And also you can email her at nh@nhbiz.ca. So, but yeah, if you have any more addition, let's stop. Get you back on here. Welcome back. But yeah, if you have any addition to the questions that you're answering, feel free.
Oh, okay. So for the retirement, yes. So yes, and also when it comes to pension, again, I don't know what kind of pension. If it's a pension from a previous employer, and you have a spouse, that you can do pension split. You can share part of your pension income with your spouse, so that will also lower your overall personal income level.
Okay. Thank you. So I think that's all the question that I have for today. I think it's probably a good time to wrap it up. I think our both of our computer and our internet has been acting up.
Next time, if we do this again, we got to do it in midnight, right? Nobody else. So, but for me, this is like, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. This is my very first time to do a webinar, and this is how it is.
Well, the fact that it kept streaming live, and I think that's actually quite interesting. And then people can actually ask questions. And this is kind of the format that I've been really enjoying. Right? Because like people don't need to log into Zoom, right? They don't need to log in and say, oh yeah, where's the host? Where's the host, right? But then we're just talking. It's just a conversation. It's a good way for us to get to know you a little bit better. And it's another way for us to get to know how to start a new business a little bit better as well. All right. So for those of you in the audience, let's see. I'm going to flash Naijing's information in a bit, but before then, I just want to make sure that you guys are able to subscribe to the Druga's YouTube channel so that you get a notification of when we're coming up next. All right. For the next seminar, I actually scheduled a seminar for next week as well. So if you actually go to the Druga website, look up for upcoming events, I have a workshop on Google Analytics that's coming up next week. So if you're interested in, definitely sign up, and then you can learn how to use Google Analytics to understand how to track traffic on your website, knowing how many people are coming, whether your marketing is working again. So I want to thank you again, Naijing, for sticking with the technical challenges, and then you did a great job, like just holding the fort.
I hope at least it's entertaining.
You did a great job, and if you need more information from Naijing, this is where you can find her, with the screen up top as well. So